It's gonna be Joey.
He was crawling up on my leg, so I had to grab him. I'm sure you'll hear them barking. I got Bruno sitting somewhere over there. I got 2 poodles. I'm talented and haven't maybe made the big step yet. Will you be quiet?
It's important. Kid? Not the theater kid sweater.
Come on.
That is the perfect sweater for today.
I mean, I had to.
You had to, because we're all just going to be a bunch of theater kids on this episode.
We are full theater kids on this episode. I am, and Ashley, we are theater kids from like through and through, and always will be. Okay, that's what it is, and so is our guest, which is so exciting.
Oh my gosh. I mean, everyone around the world knows him as something else, but we know him as a DPHS theater kid.
Come on, DPHS. For those of you who don't know that, that's Dr. Phillips High School, okay? That is where we went to high school. We all went to high school together. I feel like from another episode prior, we do not have ghosts anymore.
Wow. But you know what? By the end of the episode, as long as they didn't wreak havoc, I really grew fondly of Mbop and Lollygag Jones.
The way that I live for you saying Mbop and Lollygag Jones is so brilliant on so many levels. Like Mbop and Lollygag Jones, like I just there it. Oh my gosh, let's go. Let's get into this. Let's do it. Hey everybody, I'm Michael James Scott.
And hi, I'm Ashley Eckstein.
And welcome to HypeFriends. Yeah. We're here. Oh my gosh, Ashley, this is exciting. We are finally getting to have our friend on. Should I say his name? Or should we?
We need to say his name as many times as we said Kevin Bacon in the previous episode.
Joey Fatone. We've been trying to get him on. He's been like working. He's like, I've got to come on. We've all been figuring out the schedules, and we made it happen today, which is so exciting. So I'm so thrilled that we get to bring him into our neighborhood and you know, introduce him into our hype hood.
Yes. And I mean, my outfit today, my whole look today actually is brought to you by the late 90s.
Yes.
So I didn't know what to wear because I didn't have an NSYNC shirt and I was so mad. But I was like, wait a minute, how did I dress when I went to high school? Well, of course, I pulled out a rugby shirt, which I still have because I still dress like I'm in the 90s. So I have my rugby shirt on. For those listening, just imagine. I have too much eye makeup on because I loved me.
So do I.
Yeah, way too much eye makeup. Really thin eyebrows, which I still have because I overwaxed them in high school. I went to the salon and I'm just like, wax them all off. That's what we did in the 90s. And now I can't grow eyebrows because of it. And then, you know, just my middle part straight hair. Like I'm just living my best high school life look.
I'm so here for it because I, ladies and gentlemen, and all around, remember those days and was there for those days. Oh yes, I was there for those days, and Ashley was there for those days in my sweater vests and Keds and definitely a double sock of like, you know, like a thick double sock of some sort, like a ridiculous colored double sock.
I totally like trolled you, but in the best way. Like I meant it so lovingly. But one of our friends, Julia, shout out to Julia Kebbel.
Oh my gosh, Julia Kebbel.
Yes, shout out to Julia. She posted like a series of prom pictures.
y'all.
on Instagram, and you were in all of them. And so I screenshot all of them and then just started texting you. But then I would zoom in and then I would text you that one. And I'm just like, not you in high school looking like this.
Absolutely. And like living my life. Like I can't. Like this is so fun because this is bringing up so many memories, and I can't wait for Joey to get on because it really, like, I feel like anytime we see Joey, we all like just go back to the 90s and we just kind of go back into that time anyway. So it's just a fun, like, nostalgic time, and it really does feel like we just like go into a full hangout like right away. I also did not have I also had an NSYNC shirt that was coming and it didn't show up, so I was very very upset that I don't have my NSYNC shirt on, but I did a shirt that I felt like represented what was needed to be represented today. Okay.
Yeah, that was perfect. But I love how you just lived out your past gripe, because you've had a past gripe about packages that don't show up.
Oh, yes. It was a full turnaround. So let's get into this today.
I am still griping because I've not had time to bake. It's going to happen very soon.
Yes, but when it does happen, it's going to be
full.
It's going to be, yeah, it's going to be like a full, like, Golden Corral, you know, like.
Not the Golden Corral. Okay, can I just tell you a fun Golden Corral story? So, my past life, which we haven't even really talked about on here, I am a former pageant girl.
Oh, yes.
I wanted to do pageants, not my mom. You know, people think like, oh, parents, they put them in it. No, I begged my mom to do pageants. I was junior Miss Orlando, and we would do events all over Orlando. And after a pageant event, we would go to the Golden Corral. And I don't even think my husband knows this. He's like in the background in the peanut gallery. But I would go in my full pageant look, like dressed up in my dress with my tiara, with my sash at the Golden Corral.
I know that Mama Tano has photos of that somewhere.
I don't know if we have a picture of that, but what we do have is full Orlando. And if you're from Orlando, or even if you're not, I think you know of it. I did do a pageant event at Gatorland.
Oh.
At Gatorland, in my tiara, my sash, at Gatorland.
Tell me you're from Florida without telling me you're from Florida. Oh my gosh.
So yes, you're right. Once I start baking, I'm not going to be able to stop. It's going to be a full thing. We might even need to do a full Ashley Bakes episode. That's how much of a baking machine I will be.
Listen,
but
I'm down.
I'm very excited because when I went to Spain, they had these vegan olive oil almond cookies.
Ooh.
They were a specialty in Malaga, Spain. So these are Carmen. I can't read the rest because I also don't have my glasses on. But anyway, so
did y'all hear that pause? She said, Carmen. How are they? I mean,
it's not bad. It's not bad. I feel like I need a tea or a coffee.
That was a Ashley take on it.
I'm gonna wash it down with sparkling water.
She's back to a sparkling water. Oh my Lord! Wow! Come on! Oh, and she's back to the face.
So, my situation today is just okay, but that's okay. Some days are just okay.
And that was
my look today.
And that was Ashley Take. Boom.
All right, Michael. What are we hyping? Let's go with the hypes and gripes.
Okay. It's like so I'm gonna do something different today. I'm gonna start with my gripe so that we can end on a hype. You know what I mean? We can end like on a high note, okay? So, all right, here's my gripe. And I know that, the people out there know what's going on, and they will hear me, they will see me, they will understand me. So this is this is what's happening. It's when you do your laundry, and here in New York City, it's like a lovely thing to, in a lot of places, a laundry, like a washer and dryer is very like, it's sort of like it's given, like it's like in the house, or like maybe it comes with the apartment. Sometimes sometimes it does, but New York City, it's definitely not that's not like a normal thing. So we actually have a laundry, we have a washer and dryer. I'm like laundry, we have a laundry. we have a washer and dryer in our apartment, which is very lovely, and I actually secretly love doing laundry. There's something about it. I just kind of, I know it's, I kind of love it. There's something, I like it. So anyway, it's when you do laundry, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm getting so much done. I wash my clothes, I put my dryer, dry my clothes, and then the dryer goes off, and it's like, ding, you go, oh my gosh, okay, let's get the clothes out. And you're like getting everything out, you're putting, you're folding, and then you're missing a sock.
Oh, yeah.
And then you're missing like another sock. And you never find it. Where does the sock go?
You're so right.
Where does the sock go? Like, I mean, I literally am like, what is happening right now? I am not joking. I cannot find the sock. Like
my God.
I am, the way that is such a gripe, and like the way that it will take me all the way down. That takes me down to where you wake up in the morning as my past gripe of like the dishwasher, and you did not start it the night before. Like, it is such a like gripe. I'm like, where's my sock? Where's my sock? Where's my sock? Where's my sock? So that's my gripe.
That is such a good gripe. I never have matching socks anymore because they disappear.
It's like, it's so, and then I'll steal my husband's, because like for some reason his socks always the pairs come back. It's my sock that does it. So I'll steal one of his, and then it ends up being like not matching for his. So it's like a whole thing. Yeah. So that is my gripe.
Well, it's so funny. David, we're husband and wife. We read each other's minds anyway. But he, from the peanut gallery, just told me, but I was already thinking, where your socks are going, right?
Where are they going?
Our ghosts, Mbop and Lollygag Jones, are stealing your socks. It's totally, they're playing a joke on you. They're stealing your socks.
They have like literally like 10 pairs of socks on. Like that's like part of they just like steal your socks. I can't. I literally can't. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
So that is my gripe. Okay.
Okay. What's your hype?
Okay.
Let's
okay.
go.
Keep going. Okay. So my hype, so I want to hype up. We recently went to, I recently, just last night, actually went to a reunion I did a wonderful, like, life-changing production of La Cage All Full this summer, which Ashley Ashley and her husband David were there with my husband on opening night in St. Louis at the famous Muni Theater there in Forest Park. I played Alben and the drag queen Zaza, which was amazing and such a fun.
You were amazing.
Thank you. It was such a special group of people, and we just hit it off in such a beautiful way. The choreographer Ricky Hines, who is a very dear friend of mine from back in the day as well, it was actually our first time doing like a big production like that together, which is also a whole hype on so many levels. But Ricky and I organized a reunion in New York City, and we all got together, and it was absolutely amazing. We were at this wonderful little place called Hold Fast, which is like this awesome midtown New York City place for, you know, in the theater district, and you can go, amazing food, amazing drinks. It's such a awesome vibe. So shout out to Hold Fast and the amazing crew there, that they're just so amazing. And we had such a beautiful time, and we organized it together, Ricky and I, and everyone was just so excited. It was like a big hype, and we literally started singing together. We started dancing. I mean, it was there's lots of social media stuff on it, because everyone was like, had their phones out, and of course putting on their stories, their individual stories. But we had such a beautiful time, and it was just such a fun hang, and it was truly like a really great reconnect, and it happened in person. So I'm just hyping up a group hang, and it was I'm so happy we did it. We followed through, and I'm telling you, it's this podcast that has been so inspiring to like make me do it. But you know, it's like, oh, okay, like you got to follow through. You got to make the plan and do it and happen. We've already done it. We've actually gotten to do it together, Ashley, which has been incredible because of this podcast. Literally because of this Hype Friend community, and because of all the talk and all the what it is about Hype Friend, that we've done this before. So I'm thrilled, and I'm digging our own podcast, because I'm listening to it too, because I'm like, this is amazing. I'm learning. Okay, now Michael, now you go ahead on and you make it happen, and you follow through, and you go and meet your friends, and y'all have fun, and y'all have a fierce time. I'm hyping that up.
I love that. That's an applause.
Yeah.
That's an applause. And you know what? It really is working. You know, I travel the nation, the world, going to conventions, and I love hearing everyone's stories. People are listening. Thank you for listening or watching. And I'm hearing stories of how, because of the episode, it inspired me to do this. It inspired me to reach out. It inspired me to join a group. You know, us too. It's literally, we're throwing it out into the universe, but it's like, oh, hey, we got to practice what we preach.
Yep.
If we're talking about it, we got to do it too. And we are starting a friendship revolution, one hype friend at a time.
Hey,
it's working.
Yes. It's working. I love it. I love it. That's my hypes and my gripes. That's where it is. That's where it is.
I love it. Well,
how about you?
My hype and my gripe is kind of one in the same.
Okay.
You know, kind of experience. And it's one I've talked about before, but I've never gone into detail.
Ooh.
So today I am excited to go into detail, because I get so hyped about going to the grocery store.
Yes, you do.
So hyped.
And we have bonded over this.
We've bonded over this. So, but this goes back to childhood. Literally, I remember I asked my mom once, I said, Mom, can you give me $20? And I want to go to the grocery store by myself. Well, she was there, but she wasn't like shopping with me. And I'm like, I want to shop all by myself, and I want to buy whatever I want with this $20. Now, back then, $20 got you a lot of stuff. Now,
yes.
You know, not very much. But I just love the act of grocery shopping, and I love exploring what other grocery stores have, especially like outside of my town. Like, I want to see what other grocery stores have, and to the point where, like, my husband, you know, I actually do not like going to the grocery store with my husband David, and I'm looking at him because he's behind the scenes. Like, he puts a time clock on me. He literally, like, as we pull up to the grocery store together, he's like, Ashley, there's no lollygagging. We're going in. See the word?
Lollygag. There's no lollygagging, Jones.
Yes. He's like, there's no lollygagging. We're going in. We're getting what we want. And then we're leaving. Well, no. I want to lollygag. I want to spend 2 hours in the grocery store. I want to just roam the aisles and see what they have, what's new. And especially if it's a new grocery store that I've never been to, forget about it. give me at least 2 hours. I'm going to need that much time. And so I recently, I talked about this. I went to Iowa. We went to the Field of Dreams.
Yes.
And it was right around my birthday. So that was my birthday treat. I'm like, that's my birthday treat is I get to go to a new grocery store. And so shout out to the Hy-Vee grocery stores. I'd never been in one.
Oh, yes. Yes. I've been to a Hy-Vee. Yes.
Excuse me, Hy-Vee. The amount of aisles. I think they had 4 aisles of allergy-friendly food. I was in heaven. I literally spent 2 hours in the Hy-Vee. I love our hometown grocery store, Publix, where shopping is a pleasure. It really is a pleasure shopping at Publix. Publix, I love you. However, you need to go to a Hy-Vee.
Oh.
You need to check out their allergy-friendly options because they are smoking you in that category. Like, it was so good. I literally... David, when he got back to the hotel room that day, because he was there for baseball, and I had a table full of groceries. Now, mind you, we were only in Iowa for 2 days, and he came back. He's like, Ashley, what did you do? Why did you buy so many groceries? And I was like, I couldn't help myself. Like, I mean, they had vegan chocolate-covered marshmallows. Like, I had to have them. I literally have no control. I have no chill when I go to a new grocery store. So that's my hype.
I love it.
Up grocery stores and having a hobby is something that brings you joy. All right. Well, that's my hype.
Okay.
Now,
so what's your gripe?
Hype is when I checked out of the grocery store.
Uh-oh.
And actually, this wasn't at the Hy-Vee. So let me preface by Hy-Vee, this was not you. But
Hy-Vee, this is not you.
I am all for the reusable bags. I'm all for not being wasteful and protecting the environment. I'm all for it. However, sometimes I just want multiple grocery bags. And when I checked out and he was like, would you like to pay extra for a grocery bag? And I'm like, yes, I would. I will pay as much as you need me to because I need the bags. Well, I thought that meant that he would give me as many bags as needed for what I bought. Oh no. He stuffed all of my groceries into one bag, and he didn't even double bag it.
No.
Yes. And then there were certain things that he deemed as not baggable, which they were totally baggable, which meant that I had to carry them. Now I only have 2 hands. I couldn't do it all. That's why I said I want to pay extra for extra bags. If I'm asking to pay extra for extra bags, give me the extra bags. But no, I got one bag that was not double bagged and it was going to break, so I had to carry the bag like from the bottom with my case of water. Like, I couldn't do it all. So, my gripe is I'm all for protecting the environment, saving the environment, and reusable bags. But if I want to pay for the extra bags, give me the extra bags. That's my gripe. The end.
The Lost Art of Grocery Bagging. Brought to you by Ashley Eckstein.
And I mean, don't even get me started on put the frozen stuff together. If it's frozen, put that together. If it's cold, put that together. And if I have some bananas, do not put something like heavy and sharp on top of the bananas because I carefully picked the bananas. And then when they bag it and then you crush my bananas, now my bananas are all bruised. Like, there is an art to grocery bagging. So you know who's actually good at it? Where shopping is a pleasure is Publix. Shout out to the baggers at Publix because they're very, very good at it. So I see you. I notice you. But yes.
I'm gonna also say something because I feel like you. I don't know if you're saying the whole thing, but the just got a little tidbit from your husband that this was the second grocery store in the same trip, and that you had bought them out of their allergy food. Y'all, y'all, the way that her husband just fully came in for the fight, like the full home run of it all. This was the second grocery store in the same trip, ladies and gentlemen.
I was so mad because this was like their version of Whole Foods, and I was so excited because I'm like, the whole store is like allergy friendly and I can eat it. The way that before we even walked in, he was like, "You're not lollygagging. I'm putting a time clock. You have 10 minutes." And he was so grumpy. He was so grumpy the whole time we were in the grocery store. And I'm like, I'm never going to get to go back here. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity. It's my civic duty to check them out.
Oh my God.
Anyway.
I'm obsessed. That was amazing. And I fully had to just put that in there because that was something that I just found out. So there's that. This Hype and This Gripe brought to you by Angry Bubbles.
It's because I'm drinking bubbles today.
Oh my gosh. Were those with some good hypes and gripes? She hyped. He griped. He hyped. He griped. She hyped and griped. They hyped and griped. Hype and griping. Oh my God. Oh my God. It's because of Joey. This is why. It's because of Joey that we are so hyped up right now, okay? Which brings me to good gossip, because I'm really excited about this good gossip today. And I feel like it actually, I have good gossip, Ashley. I have good gossip.
Oh, I can't wait to hear.
And I want to share it. But this in my head is like basically what would happen at the X9 household as well. Like in my head, I feel like this is something that would happen. Okay. Which I'm just obsessed with. So, okay, in down under in Brisbane, Australia. Shout out to Australia. I love Australia. Australia is like a second home to me. I've spent actually a lot of time in Australia. I worked there. So I love it. And I've been to Brisbane. I know it. Anyway, so in Brisbane, there was this postman who was hailed as a hero for performing an extraordinary act. So this man was caught on a homeowner's security camera making a delivery to an address, and instead of throwing the package towards the door, he noticed clothes hanging out on the laundry line, and it started raining, and what you see on the footage is him going to take every last piece of laundry off of the clothing laundry line, folding it up and putting it literally folding the laundry on the front door so that it could be out of the rain. Can you even?
Oh, that is amazing.
And then he delivered the package and set that next to the clothes. Can you even? And so then this homeowner, her name is Verity Wandell, and she was astonished by this post, this video of basically on her home footage, like a ring light or something. And so she posted it on social media, and within a week, literally, it was just like the craziest thing. And she basically posted and she said, "This is 1 in a million." And she said, "I thought I was coming home to find my clothes soaking wet, but no." And literally, so many outlets picked it up, and he was basically deemed, the laundry hero. But I am obsessed with that, and it is such a cool such a beautiful, beautiful act of kindness and just like care. You know, sometimes postmen, postwomen, you know, post people get little bad raps because, you know, you see all the videos of people like throwing the packages and stuff. And then like, you know, so sometimes I feel like there's a bad rap for some of our delivery folks who are working really hard. But there are a lot of delivery folks who are like this, who go out of their way to do this. And there's a lot of stories like this. And there's so many beautiful stories of, you know, post people like, you know, having good relationships with like, you know, family pets and or kids and you know, and they get so excited to see them, or you know, or just the homeowners there, and just sort of like having an actual relationship with those people and just sort of like trusting them and all the things, right? But this was such a beautiful thing, and in my head, this is what happens at the Eckstein household.
Well, Michael, it's so funny because we haven't even talked about this, but that is totally what happens because my husband David, that's like, you know how as like couples like it's like one person's job. Well, David loves the mail. He just loves the mail and packages. He checks it every day. If he's out of town, I forget to check it. Like it's his thing. Well, he always becomes friends with, you know, the mail carrier or the UPS delivery driver. Well, that is totally it. He's friends with them all, and he makes sure that they get Christmas cards and, you know, gift cards. But we have a UPS driver. Shout out to Jimmy.
Hey, Jimmy.
Yes, shout out to Jimmy. Well, David is friends with Jimmy. They've become friends. And so much so that David's like always on the lookout for Jimmy. And if Jimmy's there, like he runs just to go talk to him. And don't get me wrong, Jimmy loves to chat with David just as much as David loves to chat with Jimmy. But like David will just talk to him for like 20 or 30 minutes. And I like kind of have to break it up to be like, David, Jimmy has a job to do. Like other people need their packages. You need to let Jimmy go do his job. And but it's really sweet. I really, really admire.
Oh, I love that.
So yes, that is how it is at the Eckstein household. And I do believe that if our laundry was out, Jimmy would protect it from the rain. So
yes,
amazing.
yes, of course. That's literally, I mean, that's exactly, of course, that's what it'd be. That's exactly what it would be. Meanwhile, I would be like, you know, singing and dancing with my post people like that. In my head, I want to like, we come out, we do a duet. I'm like, did you leave me laundry? Laundry, did you leave it to me? Thank you. And then there would be like a full like back and forth of it. It would be a full musical situation. So that's what I'm putting it there. But shout out to the oh my gosh, shout out to that. I mean, I love that story, and it makes me so happy. It's really, really cool. So I knew you would love that because it's definitely right up your alley. That is the good gossip.
Is it time? I'm so ready.
Yes.
It's gonna be Joey.
How very dare you? It's gonna be Joey. Okay, all right. Well, on that note, y'all, grab your frosted tips and denim jackets because we are about to bring in a legend, a man who made the 90s and early 2000s sparkle brighter than a disco ball at prom. Yes, this man helped define an era as part of the one and only NSYNC. Yes, that NSYNC, selling over 70 million records, breaking hearts, and perfecting synchronized choreography before TikTok even existed. You've seen him on screen in My Big Fat Greek Wedding, dancing his heart out on Dancing with the Stars, and hosting everything from The Singing Bee to Common Knowledge, proving that boy band members don't just harmonize, they can saute too. Ow! He didn't stop there. He conquered the stage too, making waves on Broadway in hits like Rent, Little Shop of Horrors, The Producers, Rock of Ages, and fresh off of a run in the big Broadway smash, and Juliet. Oh, he's a triple threat, entertaining powerhouse with more credits than your favorite streaming service. You know him, you love him, you probably have sang into your hairbrush pretending to be him. It's the one and only, the legendary, the larger-than-life, Joey Fatone!
That was an amazing intro. That's probably one of the best.
Well, I mean, Joey Fatone is coming on. We are fully hyped and ready. So it was come on, we have to.
I appreciate that.
And it's so well deserved. Oh my gosh, Joey. It's just so impressive to see everything you've done. And we are here to hype you up.
Yes, we are. We are so happy you're here, y'all. We have been hype me up.
Yes. Who is this?
Wait, who is this?
This is Vinny.
Oh,
My little boy, Vinny.
Oh, Vinny. Hi, Vinny.
He was crawling up on my leg, so I had to grab him. I'm sure you'll hear them barking. I got Bruno sitting somewhere over there. I got 2 poodles. This one's a little one. The other one's a multi-cook.
Oh, my gosh. Of course you would have poodles.
Yeah, right?
Because when I think of Joey Fatone, I think poodles.
Yeah, right? You know what? You think of actually I did have Dobermans. So that's more probably would be my
Yes.
Honestly, I want every size. I want a teacup, I want a little one, and I want one of the big golden boots. They're amazing.
Oh,
so
yes. Oh my gosh. Well, Joey.
Sorry, anyway.
No, Joey, okay, so we said to our listeners and our hype put community out there already how we go back, and the thing is that we've been so excited about having you on, and our schedules, all the things, and we finally got you today. We all make this happen, but we go back.
Yeah, we do.
Ashley and I, we know you from back in the day, which is really
before NSYNC.
before
High school.
before NSYNC. Yes. Joey, how did we meet? How did I meet you? How did that happen?
We tried to figure that out exactly when. And I think you were telling me it was out of when I was doing. Was it Guys and Dolls? That might have been.
Yes, I think it was. Yes, which
I think it was something like that. And you were coming, I think, into this.
Yes,
you were, or whatever, something like that.
I was coming out of middle school, going into our high school, which we all went to. Yes. And that was yes, the 9th grade center, y'all. Oh yes, at Dr. Phillips High School. And Joey, but P.S. just so y'all know, Joey was giving you like Guys and Dolls. He was giving you Phantom of the Opera. He was giving you. You
know what? Back in that day, we were like sponges. Like really were. Like we were just excited to be a part of any of the theater stuff, especially for me. Obviously, of course, we were all theater kids in that sense, but for me, it was like, we had Karen Regario, who was our drama teacher.
Yep.
Who was never the always the sweetest, but I mean that in the nicest way. It was a love-hate relationship in the sense of she wanted us to do the best to our knowledge as she can, and she would get frustrated because she knew the potential that we had.
Yep.
That was always what was always interesting about Karen. But it's amazing just the amount of people that came out of that high school and, being there from 9th grade all the way up to senior year, living from New York and then moving to Orlando, Florida, and not having any really opportunities. And then having, this high school where it was a magnet program where it had all these different arts things, for, theater and chorus and drum, dance and all that stuff. So for me, it was just like one of those things where I was like, I want to learn everything. So therefore, that's why I was doing the Phantom of the Opera. One of the songs from Pippin we would do for main stage, or, the big stage for districts and state.
Yes.
Right?
Come on.
Well, you know what, Michael? We haven't even talked about this, but I first saw Joey similar. I was in 8th grade, going into 9th grade. I knew that I had been accepted, so I was going to check out one of the shows. And Joey, I saw you in Damn Yankees.
Oh wow. My gosh.
Yes, that was my first intro.
Sorry.
I thought it was great. I mean, you all were superstars to me.
Thank you.
Superstars.
It was fun. Yeah. I mean, again, we treated it like a job. We love doing what we do, but we really treated it as serious as we can. I think that's kind of why I think our school kind of shined that much. We really, really took it serious, and kids were, at the age we're really trying to become, actors or singers or whatever. And you had Universal Studios was right across the street. So, Nickelodeon was there at the time, and they were always casting people. And there's so many other people that came even from the high school or from other places that went to our high school that are from other shows, which is pretty crazy. It's just
crazy,
odd, small world.
So
Yeah.
We were talking about that when we ran into each other, like DJ Khaled, AJ Brzezinski, who was a baseball player, Johnny Damon, a baseball player, Wayne Brady, the three of us,
yes,
Luis Fonsi, Despacito kid. So it's like, it's crazy.
Now, Michael, I'm jealous because you got to go to high school for a year with Joey. So you were a freshman, Joey, you were a senior. What was that like?
he was actually, he had just graduated.
Oh, okay. Scrap that.
Just going out as he was going in.
Yes, but we had actually worked together. We had actually been in this before that, basically it was like a glorified show choir, but like theater group thing, kind
of like SNL without the skits.
No way.
Yes.
I didn't know this. Y'all were in a theater troupe together?
Yes.
Basically called Kids Biz.
Yes, it's like Kids Biz or something. Yes. And Joey was he was the older ones. He and some of his friends, they were the older ones. So I was like one of the babies. So Joey, they were all the leads of the thing. So I was giving you ensemble realness. Every now and then giving you every now and then a shout out, like a solo line. I'd be like, yes. And you know what I mean? Like it was that kind of thing. Meanwhile, Joey was giving just and but so we actually got to work together. Like we were in a group together. So I really do feel like he was my senior when I was coming into it, because we worked together. Which is why he told me about, I learned about the VPA, our visual performing arts program, and all that stuff through Joey and his troupe of his crew of friends. And they were like, they're like, dude, you got to go here. You got that. It was a whole thing. So that was basically, I feel like he was my senior.
I would always be your senior.
Yes. But so senior citizen. Well, Joey, so we are, obviously this is a hype friend. This is we are all about friendship, and you are, I think, and Ashley and I talked about this, and we said this, you are an ultimate hype friend. You really, really are. You are an ultimate hype friend. And so I want to know, we want to know from you, from Joey Fatone, what does hype friend mean to you? When you hear that, what does that mean? Because we're going to get into all of it.
Hype friend is, you want, for me, I always want my friends and everyone to succeed in whatever which way, shape, or form, whether that be a job or whether that just be in everyday life, whether that be, whatever the career is, or just being a parent, being the best of your ability. And I'm always there to kind of hype them up in that sense. That's why I am a hype friend, I guess. I'm just always that person that always wants them to do good. And I'm always going to support them and be like, hey, listen, give the hard criticism, even maybe not be the best criticism, but you always got to give that little tough love to let them know, hey, I love you this much to tell you that this is A, B, C, and D, and then also give the positive sides about it. So you got to give both. I think as a true friend would be, you got to give both sides of the coin. So, for me, I don't know, I'm just happy-go-lucky. What you see is what you get. I don't sugarcoat anything. And I think I just love life, and I want everybody to experience and love it as well. I think, honestly, it sounds so cheesy, but it's true. Sure.
It's totally true. And to extend on what Michael said, not only are you the ultimate hype friend, but you've never forgotten where you came from. You've never, forgotten your roots. And I've always
Florida.
That. Yes. In fact, the first time we met, you wouldn't remember it. I do. It was at Dr. Phillips, right. And I will never forget, I was standing on stage. There's a whole group of kids around, so that's why, I didn't introduce myself at that time. But you had just joined NSYNC. Nobody knew about NSYNC yet.
Right.
And you came back to tell Miss Rogerio about NSYNC, and you were telling all of us. And I remember you saying, yeah, I think it's going to be really big.
Yeah. I hope.
You hoped, but you always have come back. You've always stayed close with your friends, your high school friends. You know, not everyone does that. I feel like people go on and then they kind of forget where they came from. So why has it been important for you to remember your roots?
I think it's a combination of, of course, knowing where you came from, but also the people that I still keep in contact with are just great friends. They're just great people. You guys are great people. And that is, I think, why we do keep in contact. Of course, yes, we are in the same industry per se, but even though there are some people that are not in the industry that I know from high school that I still keep in contact, which is, hey, how are you? Because they're just great people. Now, of course, there's some people that we maybe have gone distant, but it's interesting that, I don't know, it's weird. I've obviously known many people from high school, but I've also known two friends of mine that I've known since kindergarten. I have friends of mine I've known for over 40 years now, since I lived from when I moved to New York City. My buddy Richie and Carmine, my buddy Richie lived literally right across the street from me when I went to kindergarten in St. Mary's Catholic School in New York City. And I still have friends to them to this day. I'm actually going to see them in a couple of days. I'm heading out to New York to go see them. So yeah, it's crazy to I don't know. I think just the friendship that we had and the bond that we had, I don't think we ever want to let it go. You know what I mean? And even if time has passed, like we say, months have maybe gone by, or maybe sometimes, I may not see a person, but the next person, I see them or whatever. It's like no time has passed. You pick up right where you left off.
That is literally that is such an incredibly remarkable ability to maintain friendship. Like that's a superpower. That is truly a superpower.
They're like, because I think we just kept the conversation always going, or we would at least see each other or try to see each other. And it's just, I think it's just a test of time where, you have really true good friends, and those people are going to last a lifetime.
Well, I want to know, how did you do that? Because, especially
communication.
Yeah. Okay. I was like, your schedule's crazy.
Yeah. There are times, again, we all have lives. We have busy lives. Again, two of my friends, they still live in New York City. We were just talking about it. I was living in New York doing Aunt Juliet for a while, and we would see each other once or twice, but like, let's do a vacation together. And every year we would try to do a vacation. So all of a sudden, nobody really talked. Everybody gets in their busy schedule. So I'm calling up everybody going, yo guys, what are we doing? You told me we're going to do something. Now the communication is not, let's keep the ball rolling, bro. Let's keep it going. Let's keep the conversation. Because again, I get it though. Everybody's lives, everybody's families, wives, kids, everything, husbands. So you got to juggle all that stuff, but you also still want to see your friends. But again, we live in different states too, which also makes it more difficult. But again, it's that communication of going, all right, guys. And I literally said to them, listen, I've called up many times. I'm going to keep calling. However, you guys are going to set up the time and the date, because I'm done doing that, but I'm going to keep conversation going. I'm going to keep telling you, let's be on point. Let's keep this conversation so we can at least see each other. So it's a little bit of an annoyance, but in a good way. You go, yo, let's keep it going.
Oh, yes. I love that, because that's we have talked about the fact that like you really have to like go at it, like, and you have to work. Yeah. It's
practice.
It's a practice.
And you can't be mad, like for instance, I get messages going, hey, when are we going kiki? When are we going kiki? When are we going to kiki? And I'm like, all right, we're gonna go. Just I'll let you know. And it me and you, bro, we were like trying to get each other, and we missed each other.
Yes.
But yet we found a hangout in Orlando.
In Orlando, where it's like after our years later, after our high school days, we are the Miss Regario days and all the things. P.S. Miss Regario, just so we're all clear, Miss Regario was our theater teacher. She was the head of the theater department for all of us, our drama teacher, just so our listeners out there, Miss Karen Regario. Yes. But after all those said and done, and like Ashley said, P.S., like Joey recently invited me to come and sing with him in his show at Epcot called Joey and Friends. P.S. Joey and Friends. It's the title is called Joey and Friends. And Ashley, what did you say to me earlier? You said that was you said it was such a great way. You were like, that's a choice. That's on purpose. Like it's like
Yeah. Friendship is a practice, and friendship is a choice. It takes initiative. And you could have just done a solo concert at Epcot. Yeah. But instead, you're like, no, I want to bring my friends with me. And not only, some of your famous friends, but you had our friend Jeanette Zilioli, who has one of the best voices of anyone I know. And if you haven't heard of her,
Yep. Check her out.
Need to know her, and you were like, "She's my friend. She deserves a spotlight on the stage."
Sure. Of course, I feel that way about a lot of my friends, and that's kind of why I say Joey friends, because some people are celebrities and some people are just friends that are talented and haven't maybe made the big step yet. Will you be quiet? I'm trying to do it. Don't like it.
This is amazing.
We love it. We love it.
Or knocks, and it's a wrap. Or he thinks somebody's there. I think he's getting older, so he doesn't see as much. He hears something and then loses his mind.
I love you. That's so good. It's so good. But no.
Yeah. So Jeanette, Zilioli, you were talking about, it's important.
I'm obsessed.
Come here. Get over here. Both of them come over here. What?
Oh.
Come here. Where's your mouth? Where's mouth? Come here, mouth.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway, so Jeanette. So the cool thing about Jeanette is again, we've done like things together, and every once in a while I was like, you know what, I want her to come up. I want people to hear her. Just like that. We've had other celebrities, but other people are friends of mine. Again, Joey Fatone and friends, and I always want to give people their due. Definitely like have people shine. I know they shine in their own right mind, but why not help them, or why not just give them a little bit of a boost, or why not just come out and just party with us? That's kind of what happens. Really, it's kind of a big celebration every time I do these kind of shows that I do. And I do a lot of corporate events, but I've done stuff, obviously, I'm doing Epcot, and it's been great. It's been wonderful.
I love, just so we all are clear, Joey is I would say he is like the glue to many groups of people. And obviously, I mean, he was often considered the harmonic glue to NSYNC, which is, but
people really don't know, but when you're musically inclined, the notes were all the ones of the weird ones that I always got flarp, where I was flat and sharp half the time because all those notes were rubbing on each other. It's kind of a little bit of a barbershop kind of feel. So yeah, I was the one that was weaving it out.
I love that, because I feel like that was part of your training, like your music training, like back in the day, like that you could just slide into that. Like, your voice, you have you have a beautiful voice, but the fact that you could just harmonize like that, like easily, and just slide into those, that's a very important thing. Well, that's the thing. You made it look easy and you made it sound easy. So, and the metaphor of that, you being the glue to the iconic group that is NSYNC, is also, to me, very, very, like, exactly who you are to various groups of friends in your life. I feel like that is an important thing, and you have that. Has that always been that way for you? Like, do you feel that? Do you feel like maybe the weight of that sometimes?
I think in certain ways, yeah. Sometimes I feel that way, as far as like being the glue with friends. I would say sometimes I'm the one that kind of goes, hey guys, let's hang out, or we haven't made contact with each other as a group. Let's hang out. Let's do something. There's a lot of times I'm like that. Yeah, I would say so. That's fair to say. I like to be the glue.
You know what I also love, and I think this goes to the fact of why there was magic at Dr. Phillips. I think why so many people came out of there, but clearly this is what you do with your friends, is we expected greatness from each other. We pushed each other. We were like, no, we're going to be better. We're going to be best in state. We're going to win that. And, instead of competing with one another, we lifted up our friends and we said, no, you can do that. And so where does that come from? Is that just innate? Is that,
I don't know. I maybe in the water. I have no idea. I think it's just that, like, the camaraderie and like you said, the unforgiving of, in the sense of just giving so much credit where credit is due, and I could do that better. It's always, what, I'm going to be that supporter. I'm going to be the co-star. I'm going to be I may have a small part, but there's only small actors, never small parts, is what I always say. But, everybody has their right set and what they need to do, but everybody's always supportive. Yeah, I think that's what a lot of us did, and around that time, maybe I can't speak for anybody else in the other years, but yeah, I think the fact that when somebody got the part, it wasn't like, oh, I should have got that part. It was like, I could have gotten that part, but you deserve it because maybe you worked harder at it, or you know what, you deserved it because you fit the part better than I did, but I'm going to make my character, whoever my part was. I mean, again, I did Guys and Dolls where I wasn't even a lead part in when I did it, and I made my own character. It was Scranton Slim, and I made this whole character up and did this whole thing that a bunch of us and the guys became like this character thing because people were watching us more than they were watching the main character. We had so much interesting business that we were in doing. So yeah, fun things like that. You take it to the extreme, and you build it up. It's funny because nowadays when I haven't done a lot of acting, little things here and there, but then I start to remember what it was like to be in high school and act and what it was. And there was, for some reason for us, there was no fear. We had no fear. We didn't, we were all together. And, at first, I think when I did the auditions, when I first auditioned for Karen, I was scared to death. I actually, my first freshman year, I didn't even audition the 2 first shows. There was a Shakespearean play. I went to go audition and I got chicken. Then I went to go do the one act play and I chickened out. And then I finally went and auditioned. I said, you know what, whatever. And I finally just let everything go. And it was when I did West Side Story and I played a part of Chino as a freshman, which no one ever gets really a part as a freshman like that. So I was like, oh my gosh, I got a big part. Woo! So again, that's, I guess, the ball rolling. But, you always go full-fledged into that character, or full-fledged 100% of whatever that thing is. And I think that's what really brings everybody together in that sense, was everybody was always complimenting each other and always making sure, well, you know what, that may be good, but let's this might be better if we add this. And everybody was always good with the criticism, I think,
Yes, I love that.
Explain. It's nice when things happen, it's nice when things, you have a positive outlook on things. I think that's another thing. All of us do have this positive outlook. And people always go like, well, you ever get mad? You ever get upset? And you're like, yeah, we have our days, but look at the life we're living.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? We get up every day and do the job that we love to do. And every day is kind of different for all of us. Even though I know, you're doing Genie and everything else, but you also are flying out, doing shows left and right. You're doing the Comic-Cons and you're also doing the voices left and right, different things, speaking engagements. So it's constantly changing. You're always constantly want to evolve and make again, yourself a better person, and maybe just kind of learn more. And I think that's what we are. We're sponges, like I said. I think the more we meet other people and see, I think the better. Yes, internet and phone is great, but the real personal contact is where it really, really matters, I think, nowadays. And I think some other people are losing that. I know we're not losing that, but I know other generations are starting to lose that, to where, it's all about my phone. This is me.
Yes.
I look here the whole time. Let me talk to you.
Yes.
Which is why we are doing Hype Friend, because the phone it's great, but it's not meant to replace connection.
Right.
So I have a question, talking about NSYNC, I want to ask you about it from a friendship angle, because you had to have learned so much about friendship from traveling the world with NSYNC, and it had to have been like a family. And let's be honest, we love our family, but sometimes traveling with your family 24/7 is tough.
And the ages are different. The ages were spread out.
Yes.
One kid who was 14 years old, which was Justin, and the oldest was Chris, which was 24 years old. So there was a 10-year gap between the oldest and the youngest. So it was Justin 14, Lance was 16, me and JC were 17 turning 18, and Chris was 24. So you had this gap of all of us, and then learning each other, and then learning that we're completely from different places too, which was, again, we all have the love for obviously performing music, writing, being creative in the entertainment. But then when we became friends, it's learning of, okay, well, you like more R&B than I do. Lance actually likes more country music than anything else. You get Chris, who's more of a rock kind of punk rock kind of thing. So you listen to all these different, yes, we do pop music together, but everybody has all their different personalities. And it was always interesting because there were times that, not that we butted heads, but didn't understand. And one of the funniest things ever, and Lance can tell you the story too, is when Lance's family came over one time, the first time they came to Orlando, they met my family and came over for dinner. I have a New York loud
I
family.
would say your family is no
Southern,
joke.
Bible belt, very quiet, reserved, and we're like screaming and yelling, but all nice. Nothing. And they were just like, "What is?" And it was the funniest culture shock. But then to watch how much my mom and my dad and my mom and my dad had so much in common with their parents, and then the same thing with JC's, the same thing with Chris's mom, and Justin's parents. So everybody, even though they were different from different states and different walks of life, we all had the same common goal and ground. And I think, again, getting back to with NSYNC and being friends, it was literally those years, 2.5 years, that we learned, because we were in the studio together all the time. We were eating together all the time. We were in a house that Lou Pearlman rented that we were hanging out all the time in.
Wow.
So it was kind of like not a camp, but kind of like a camp where we were literally getting to know each other. And thank goodness, we all really liked each other and got along. There was no animosity. There was no like, well, I want to be the lead singer. It was never like that. It was, you sound great on this. This is what you should sing. You sound good on this. This is where your range is. Let's do this. Where's your strong points? And if we have your strong points, let's put those in the forefront. If they're a little bit weak, let's put you in the back a little bit. So it was that kind of thing. And I think that's what made us work well as the friendship grew, the camaraderie as a group grew, I think. And that's, again, coming back from when we first started, again, I remember there were times where we rotated rooms. Like, for instance, there's 5 guys. It wasn't a lot of money in the budget, so we had 2 beds. So it was a double bed in each room, but one guy got the single bed. So we would rotate. So, for instance, Justin one night would get the single bed. Me and Chris would groom JC and Lance. Then it would switch to where JC and Justin and Lance, I get my own room, and it would be Chris and Lance. We would rotate to where we each would get the room by ourselves, but we always were with someone else. And then you'd always just bond with each other. We'd always just talk about stuff. And that's really kind of how it got together, where you really became a family.
Wow. That again, superpower. I mean, that is literally, like, in terms of that's the prime example of what, when friendship is at its strongest, when you have that kind of dynamic, but you just let each other, it's like knowing your ministry. We've talked about that too. Like, each person knowing what their thing is. Yes, like knowing what their role is, which is so, that is really, that's a very, very, like, it's a shiny example of how that works.
How very cohesively everything kind of worked. It kind of it really did fall into place. Maybe many stories may not have that, but amazingly how, again, I think we became friends first before we really became a group. I mean, we were singing at the time, but we really were hanging out and bonding and making this friendship as we were doing this together. So, first it's like almost like, okay, we're work partners, but now we became friends. Just like, being on stage, doing theater, you're with these people every day. Every day, 8 shows a week, running around on Broadway. You know these people. You live and breathe these people. You see every day that, and again, just like anything, when we travel, the fun part about it too is when you have an ensemble cast, if you will, with the guys. It's like, what? Today I want to hang out with Justin. Maybe the next day I don't feel like hanging out with Justin. I hang out with Lance. If I hang out with the 2 of them, you can rotate the sense. It wasn't like, it never got stale to where we always had to hang out with everybody at the same exact time. Only when we perform it. But other than that, if we were in the room, hey, let's go get some lunch. Let's go hang out. And we would just kind of vibe off of each other. It was great.
Wow.
Well, I love it. That's like a whole season of Big Brother that I would love to watch. Those early days of y'all.
There were moments, yeah. And again, there are moments where we bickered or complained about something, but never got into anything where it was just negative. We always made sure it was an outcome of positive, or how could we turn something that may have been a turmoil and make it a positive? What could we do to flip it? And I think that's what was great about our camaraderie, our friendship, and kind of like a band of brothers, if you will, where we were like, listen, we got each other's backs. Anytime, any day, let me know. I got you. Just say the word.
That's a lot of letting ego go, like, out of the way. Like, and especially, that's very impressive. I mean, obviously I know that you all have to work at it, but at your young ages, having to do that, like, really with ego and all that. Cause I'd be curious, like, as NSYNC it rose, as your star rose, right? Like, you know, did that become harder in terms of, or you know, just
I think
within
I
the
think we,
business, obviously.
yeah, I think we kept people in check, each other in check. And I
Mm.
don't mean like, hey man, what are you doing? Like, let's not do this. This is wrong. We just always was like, just check up on each other. And we always, thank goodness, we were raised to do what's right, not what's wrong. You know, we knew the paths, what can happen if you lead one direction or the other. But for us, it was kind of like, our main goal was we want to perform, we want to get the music out there, we want people to hear us, and we want people to love us. We just want to enjoy what we do, and we love to perform, we love to sing. You know, JC and Justin Lee be more creative on the writing side, I'm more of a performance side. You know, so it for me, it was always like, for me personally, I can speak for myself in the sense of, I always want to perform. Let's get out there, let's have some fun, you know. And again, it showed, you know, again, we took our criticism, where I remember, like, we would be on tour, had the VHS tapes. That's how long ago it was. We would record the show and literally get the VHS tape on the tour bus. And me and Lance were on one tour bus. JC, Justin, and Chris were on another. We had 2 tour buses. And as we would drive to the next city, it was about a 5-hour drive or whatever, they would watch the show. When we would stop, they hand off the tape to us, and we'd watch the show. And then we kind of talk and go, okay, Chris, you were a little bit off. JC, you were a little bit off on the formation. Let's move over a little bit. Our arms were not together. We weren't in sync. We would critique each other and talk to each other and go, yo, you were off on this. Or, hey, I'm standing behind you. I can see you that you're not doing this. Make it a little bit cleaner. That's all. And sometimes we'd be like, I'm doing the dance. I don't even know what you're talking about. But it was like, no, watch the tape. And you're like, oh, all right, cool. And we would clean it up and move on. And I think that's why we became perfectionists, because we always, literally after the show, we were looking at it, making sure, okay, what did we do wrong, or what was good, or I like that, or I didn't like this, or I like that. So let's figure that out. Yeah, we would do that every show.
We're always lifting each other up. I think, you know, having high expectations for your friends and seeing what they're capable of, and holding them to those expectations, I think is important.
Mm-hmm.
And I love to hear that behind the scenes. I want to ask you, because you've had the chance to travel the world, and you've met fans all over the world, and you are so good with your fans, like so good with your fans.
You're very, very good. You are
so good. What have the fans all over the world taught you about friendship?
Oh, wow. They taught me a lot, just due to the fact that there's so many people out there that have come up to me. They're like, listen, I was kind of a hermit crab. I didn't really go out that much, but listening to your music made me go out and made me go online to go buy your CD. And I met these people online buying the CD that became my friends for years now. There's so many people that I know that are groups of friends that became friends because of NSYNC, and they're all over the world. Some are all over the United States as well, and they get together sometimes and have like parties, groups, and get-togethers, or whether it be on on the internet or something like that, where they'll get on chats. So it's pretty crazy. They taught me that no matter where you are in life, you can still remain friends. No matter what the distance is now, you can still remain friends. You can still keep in contact. You still can have a friendship, whether it be long distance or in the same city. And I think that's a test of time. And I think, especially when you have something in common, like a group or whatever the case may be, or a Broadway show or a show, or Star Wars or whatever the case may be, you had that camaraderie. And that's the big main thing at first. And then it branches out to other things. What do you have in common? What are your music interests? What's your family like? What's this? What's that? And then it just goes into a deeper rabbit hole of getting to know each other, and I think that's what a lot of the fans have taught me, as far as over the years, still being friends and still being connected. And obviously that holds true with the friends that I have now as well. So it's kind of cool.
Oh my gosh, I'm living for this. This is really, I mean, it's a such different perspective. It's fun. Obviously we talk. Yes. Like this.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Deep talk.
Yes. Which this is why I love that. And I love that we can talk about this, because, and that you're also not afraid to talk about it. That's one thing I know about Joey. He is definitely, as he said, he's very honest. He's very open about it. And if you just, you have
to learn from experiences. Yeah. You learn from experience. You learn from other people. And a lot of times, I always want to hear other people's stories, because I may go down a path where I may run into a story that you might have got into, a situation where I'm like, oh, wow, okay, that's a very similar situation. And I know the route that person took, maybe that's the good way, or maybe should I take a different route? You know what I'm just saying?
Yeah.
All experiences of everybody. I'd love to hear other people's experiences and what they experienced throughout their career and their life, and even the ups and the downs, because again, you're always constantly learning. You're always learning. I don't think you never stop learning in this life.
What comes
No
to
matter
mind?
Career.
What comes to mind to me in that moment is, no matter the distance, I want you to know that deep down inside of me, you are, hey, my friend. I know
okay
it's Backstreet Boys, but I mean, it's just in that it's, you know, we're you know, you're all our friends.
Well, Joey, we're talking a lot about you being a hype friend, but what was it like for you becoming so famous? Did you notice that people started treating you different? Like, what did you need in terms of friendship? Like, you know, because I've seen this. I think, Michael, you've seen this. Sometimes people start treating you differently, or they think that you don't want to be their friend anymore.
Of course.
And sometimes I need it more than ever. I'm just like, oh, don't give up on me. You know,
Right.
you're really busy, but I really do want to hang out with you when I come in town. So what did you find that you needed in friendship as your star rose with NSYNC?
I remember the first few times when I happened to visit back in New York, because I moved when I was 13 years old. I was only gone for about 4 years or whatever through high school, graduated, became with NSYNC, and I was still, like I said, my friends from I've known since kindergarten, my buddy Richie and Carmine. We have a group of friends that we've all known each other since literally first grade kindergarten. There's about 7 or 8 other guys and girls. So I obviously am in sync in the height of our career. I finally see them. I haven't got a chance to see them. They come to the show. We go and hang out that night. They all come in my room. My room's big room, blah, blah, blah. And they're all quiet, like sitting there. And I look around, I'm like, what is your problem? And they're like, well, what we just witnessed, we don't know how to feel. Like they were like in awe of the whole thing. Cause you know, you see all these things, Michael Jackson, we witnessed all stuff. And then they're witnessing what, as a kid was growing up, you know, whatever their artist was and their fan is now seeing their friend do what people are doing. It's weird. So they didn't even know how to act. And I'm like, yo guys, I am the same silly, goofy person that you have known me since I was very young. So you can act normal. It's okay. It was really weird at first where my friends from New York didn't know how to handle it. They were like kind of weird, not standoffish, but just kind of like, do we act like, hello, your humble sir? You know, like I don't know. Like, just me. You know, I think people put celebrities on a certain pedestal, which in certain minds I understand in sense of for their creativity, their acting, whatever they did, that's amazing. But they're just normal, just like we all are. We put our pants on one leg at a time like everybody else. We have bills to pay like everyone else. No matter what it is, we're great or small, we're all doing the same thing. So, you know, it's really funny like that. For me, how I handled it, I think, like I said before, all of us kind of kept each other in check. And I think it's also, let's be real, I think it also is the upbringing. It is the upbringing of you as a child, as opposed to even just from the slightest of being a fan of somebody or being fanatic of somebody. You know, whether my parents introduced me artists into, they're famous, it's really a cool job of what they do, not like, oh, you should worship them. You know what I mean? It was a little bit different. But some people, you know, are different, and to each his own. But it's interesting to see, like for me, like I said, I've always kept my feet on the ground. I knew where I started, where I came from. I knew I never let anything get to my head, you know, and I try not to. And I've seen where other people it has gotten to their head and how that. And then I look at people like, I don't want to be like that. I'm not going to be like that. No way. You know, and you see the negativity, you see how they are, and you see it like, I don't need that in my life. I'm more of a positive person than anything else. So it is one of those things where I think from being raised the way I was, and I think keeping each other grounded, the 5 of us total, you know, kept each other grounded.
Yeah.
Our families did. Yeah. I never lost sight of that. I don't think I ever.
As Ashley said, it's and we see that you literally are the person who does not forget, and everyone knows that about you. Like, you don't forget where you come from, and you just, like, if that would come up in a conversation about Joey Fatone, like, you'd be like, oh my gosh, he literally, like, he always comes back, you know what I mean? Like, he comes back, call me, includes you, like, all those things, like, which is
Can't.
Yeah. Well, you just said it. You are a very positive person, and it's one of the many reasons we like your energy is just infectious and just sunshiny and bright and all the things, and that's why we're like. Well, yes. But I'm curious because they're in that. There are the days that are down. There are the days that are not, all up.
We're human.
Yes, we're human. So, we've talked quite a bit about struggle. We've talked about the in-between phases, like, with work or with, like, even within friendships, like all those things, right? Like, for you, what do you do to pull yourself out of that, or what have you done, and what have you learned maybe from friends to help you do that kind of thing? What is that for you?
Things go in waves in my head. They go in cycles, if you will. And for me, just like anything, you get a high, there's a low. If you become number one on the chart, where's the only place to go? There's nowhere to go. If you're at the top of your game, you can either stay there or try, because there's other people that are always going to be trying to get that spot anyway. I always say I like to be number 2 or 3 and coast and be there the whole time. Because I'll never, maybe I might not be number 1, but I'm right there all the time. It's a vicious cycle, and it does go in waves. So, for instance, you could be like, for instance, I was doing Broadway at one point, and then now I'm not doing Broadway. Okay, is there another job? No, there's no Broadway job right now. And I'm like, okay, oh my gosh, I don't have a job. What am I going to do? I know that it will go in waves. It will take a minute. You just have to go out there. And then again, for our jobs, it's a little bit different. We don't 100% really have job security. Yes, you're contracted for a certain years or a certain amount, but then once that's up, either you renegotiate or it's done. And if it's done, you got to go look for something else. Let's figure it out.
Yeah.
So we're constantly, as you know, we are always grinding. We're always trying to find something new, always trying to find something different. What's the next entertainment level, or what are we doing? So I think for me, it's like always waiting for that moment. It's okay. There's nothing wrong. It may not hit right away, or it might be a lull. There was one time after NSYNC, I did Rent on Broadway. After that, I was doing nothing. Things went down for a little bit, and I was like, what do I do? Literally, I was like, oh my gosh. Then I finally got a job doing a live show of The Price is Right in Las Vegas.
Wow.
Greatest job of the world. Didn't pay a whole lot of money, but it was a job, and it was entertaining. It was something I like to do, but it was one of those in the meantime, in between time, where they're like, listen, and it's the reality of it. I just wasn't relevant at that time, and that's a reality. And it's a reality. It goes in waves. You become irrelevant at 1 minute, and then all of a sudden you don't. You become irrelevant, or you just try to keep that peak going. For me, I don't know. I like the peaks and valleys. I like chilling, do my own thing, then do what I need to do for the business. Let's have some fun. Let's do the glitz and glamour, blah, blah. And then I can go back home and chill for a while. So for me, it's like, I like it. I enjoy it.
I love that. That's such great advice. I actually once asked my husband in the heyday of his baseball career. I mean, he had just won the World Series with the Angels, and All-Star, 2-time All-Star with the Cardinals, and won the World Series with the Cardinals. Like, literally, he was at the top of his game. And I remember one night he went 5 for 5. And, after the game, he was just like, okay, what are we having for dinner? and I was like,
no, what?
Yeah. I'm like, why are you not like so excited that you just went 5 for 5? And he was just like, I can't go there. He said, because that game just ended and tomorrow's another day. And he said, and tomorrow I could make an error. And so he goes, I can't allow myself to be up here and then down here and up here and down here. And so he had to stay in that place of the in-between just mentally for himself.
Especially athletes.
Especially athletes, for sure. But I'm more like you, Joey, where I do like the peaks and valleys. And I realize, people ask me, they're like, oh, it's so exciting. And I was like, well, it's a moment in time. And I need to take advantage of this moment in time. It's not always going to be that way, and I recognize that. So I'm grateful for this moment in time.
Not everybody recognizes that, though. They think, oh, this is going to last forever. Or this is going to happen forever. Or this gig is going to go on. And it's never going to stop. And then, what happens when it does?
Yeah.
you got to keep going. You got to figure it out,
Yes.
It's one of those things. Again, like I said, we are sponges. We love to entertain. So anything that goes, let's do it. Hey, we're doing a podcast, for crying out loud.
well, we
enjoy it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's the communication. It's the camaraderie. It's the
absolutely
having the conversation. I'm not texting you.
Yeah. Exactly.
Using the internet to actually talk to each other and see each other.
And what's great too is that you made a point, going back to what you said in the beginning. You said, hey, I'd love to be on your podcast. And you were serious, and we appreciated that. And you were like, hey, I'm going to be on it. Let's pick a date.
Yeah, I wanted to be in with you guys. So that's the thing. I love to be if I had a chance to do it together, in a room together.
Actually,
we will.
To make that happen.
We figured that out.
Yes.
We will do a reunion episode at Dr. Phillips High School.
Yes.
Love it.
Yes.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Yes.
Okay, so I have a non-NSYNC, question. This is a fan question, because the first time that I actually met you and got up the courage to talk to you, was at Star Wars Celebration.
Okay. Oh, wow.
And I was there. It was early days. I mean, this might have been, I don't know, 2010, 2012.
Yeah, it was one of the first ones they had in Orlando, right?
Yes.
I was out there for Robot Chicken.
Okay.
Yes, Robot Chicken.
Was episode for Robot Chicken.
I couldn't believe that you didn't have, you weren't flanked by security. You were just there with your family. And I was able to just walk right up to you. But I had heard that you were a big Star Wars fan. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's Joey Fatone. I need to tell him that I went to Dr. Phillips High School. And I walked up and introduced myself, and you were just the nicest guy. But so let's talk about your Star Wars fandom, because I think, were you ever in a Star Wars movie, or was that just a
there? There is footage somewhere in episode, I believe, 2, the Attack of the Clone Wars
footage,
where the random thing was, and yes, it stinks because they don't have any. I haven't seen any footage, but we literally were there. We shot footage. It was me, my brother, Chris, and JC, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. We stayed over at Skywalker Ranch one evening. It was basically a friend of a friend who was Rick McCallum.
Yes.
McCallum, the producer.
Yes.
Rick's, I guess, ex-wife or it was somebody's husband. This guy that we met introduced us to Rick. We stayed over there, and then the next morning they were shooting B-roll and footage of the excerpts for the Clone Wars. And they needed Jedis, and sometimes they'll get people from ILM, Industrial Light and Magic, to come and just fill in and do the swords. So we're like, yeah, we'll do it. So they literally put us in costume, had the Padawan tail, put us in swords, put us in the green screen. Now we're messing around fighting, me and my brother. The funny part is, too, we're going, vroom, vroom. My brother's doing it. I'm like, hey, idiot, stop doing that. He's like, why? I go, because your mouth, you're going to go, Eric, what are you doing? So we shot that, and then there's another scene where, if you remember, there's one scene where Yoda and Obi-Wan are walking, and Yoda's in that little hovering thing, and they're hovering, going down the corridor. We were supposed to be in that scene as well, in the background, just extras in the background. And while we were shooting that scene, all of a sudden there's a camera guy over there, and they videotaped everything. Trust me, I've called to get the archive footage. They will not give us anything. So it was a camera walking around. I'm like, why is there a video camera, like a normal camera, walking around? And here comes George walking in. So George walks in, and we met George before, but George Lucas walks in and was like, this was cool. Like, he's like, that's really good. Just stand right there. I was like, George Lucas just directed me. So my life is made now. George Lucas directed me. I'm good. I'm good.
Wow.
So later on, when they did the footage, obviously the movie came out. I want to see the footage. I could not see the footage. One of the ladies actually that did wardrobe became friends of mine, this girl, Jillian. And I asked her, and she said she did see some of the footage. And back in the day, I actually had my head pretty shaved short at that time. Supposedly they put a mohawk on me. They CGI'd a mohawk. and we were fighting, and supposedly we're in one of the scenes somewhere, where in the distance though, when all the people are fighting, but we were never in the forefront of it. But yeah, we got a chance to be a part of it. Went to the ranch like 2 or 3 times though, and everything in Georgia, and went to the archives. You ever been to the archives?
Yes. Oh, I've been.
I've gone there twice now, I think.
Yes.
2 times.
So Joey, we've discovered on this podcast that Michael has never seen Star Wars, and he doesn't actually know what happens to Anakin Skywalker.
You see that I'm looking at y'all like this. I have no idea what any of this means.
So what we need to do is we're gonna have them when we get together again. We'll sit down and watch an episode, a time, or a movie, or maybe we should actually watch a movie and then we'll get together and we'll talk about it. So we know that you watched it. We'll quiz you on it. I think we should do that, Ashley.
I totally think we should do it. We should do it. Michael's our Padawan.
Oh gosh. What you call me? Padawan.
That's a good thing, Michael.
What me?
Padawan. What you Padawan? What you Padawan?
What's a bit for tuna? What's a bit for tuna?
Oh my gosh.
That is hysterical. Michael, you're so wizard.
Oh my God. Okay.
You know what a Rebo Max is?
What you call me?
What's a Rebo Max?
What's a Rebo Max? That's my drag name. Rebo Max.
Oh my God.
He's this little blue guy that played the piano in the cantina.
Oh, that.
Sorry, Jedi.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, I'm down. Well, baby, me and Rebo. Oh yes.
Yeah, we need to school you on some movies, man.
Yeah,
we definitely need to. But then if you want to do all of them, it's a lot. You got Rogue. You got a lot.
Oh gosh. Yeah. Let's
start easy.
Find the one of your favorites, and then we'll just start from there. Do you know what I mean?
First 3, 4, 5.
Let's just start.
4, 5, and 6, which is the first movie in 1977 when it came out.
Oh my
God.
God.
I'm gonna geek you out right now. Years, dates, and stuff. I'll tell you, it's horrible.
Is there a Star Wars rom-com? We can go from there.
That's 2. Yeah.
Oh,
2, 3.
Yes.
I'm in.
Well, Joey, if he wants love, then finish the sentence. I love you.
I know.
I have no idea what just happened.
It's so good. You have no idea
I know. I'm like, I love you. I know. Like, I mean, that's basically what it is. It's a musical for me. I just.
Well, if you want music, we can sing dum dum.
Yes.
Dum, dum.
Y'all are killing me right now. This is amazing. Fully geeking out. Oh my God.
Well, Joey, this was the best.
Oh,
thank you.
Joey
We do
Fatone.
it again. It goes by too quick.
Yes. We love you, Joey Fatone, and we are so grateful for your light and your friendship and just your wisdom. Like, truly, some really beautiful things that you brought out today that are really, really great. And as your friend, it's fun to, obviously you don't be like, tell us about like some of your like NSYNC days.
No, but it's not,
but
like I said,
we don't do that.
Talk, but we don't talk like this.
Yes.
Hey, about this.
Yes.
It's fun like that. Again, you get to know people more and more about that when you do stuff like this. So I love it.
Absolutely. Anytime. We knew you when, and we know you now. So it's a wonderful thing, and you are welcome back anytime. You are part of the neighborhood. I am in my dressing room. Yes. I'm in my dressing room. You have to come visit me in my dressing room when you're here.
I know. I haven't been. I mean, once.
Yes, it's been years, and and then you've been back doing other shows, and you're like a couple blocks away doing other shows. It was not easy, but we got to figure that out.
We will. Don't worry. When I come back,
we love you, Joey.
Love you.
Michael, I think there's only one way to take him out. I'm going to say,
Bye, bye, bye.
That was so bad.
Bye, bye.
Bye, bye. Oh, actually, I'll take the higher. Bye, bye.
Hey, thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
It's been a joy and a light to me. I love you.
Love you.
Bye, Joey.
I am hyped. I feel hyped after that.
I'm so hyped. But you know what, Michael? I don't think we're gonna be hired for the band because that bye 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 was so off.
It was a little off. It was a little off. We got to get on those tour buses and look at the tape again and figure out and rehearse. We got to figure out that because that was definitely both our husbands would be like, "Oh, you got to do that again."
I know. Literally, the way that the last episode that like we were going to bed at night and what should be like,
Oh,
oh, good night, Ashley. I love you. It was, I didn't like how you said this in the episode. I think you could say it better. You didn't get to the point. You talked too much. I mean, literally, he had like 10 minutes of notes.
Oh,
for our last episode.
absolutely.
I'm sure I'm going to get 10 minutes of notes for this episode. But that's okay. That's okay because that is what a hype friend does. We heard it from Joey.
Yes, that is true. We should compare our notes.
Compare husband notes?
Compare husband notes.
Yeah.
Is that a new segment? Oh my gosh. Husband notes.
No.
Oh gosh, I really loved this so much. And what's fun is getting to talk to Joey in a different light, because when you're actual friends, with friends, sometimes you actually don't talk about it's like there's like conversations that you may not have because you kind of already think maybe know that, or like you just don't. Like, it's just like a weird, like we're not in like this kind of a place all the time to do this, right? So to be able to talk to him about his experience, especially with NSYNC, because we knew him before NSYNC, and then the after, and really understanding how that really worked for him and really like played out for him, it was really enlightening. Really, it really was. Like I learned so much actually.
It really was. And it was a reminder that, life moves so fast. And when you think you're catching up with your friends, even if it's in person, maybe you're not really catching up.
Yeah.
Actually diving deep into, the conversation.
Yeah.
And saying, okay, how have the past couple of months been? Like, let's chat about that. So yeah, I mean, there's so much to unpack there. So it's going to be really hard to have one last thing. What's your one last thing, Michael?
All right. Yes. All right. So my one last thing, to me, it's like glaring at me, but it's the fact that Joey Fatone's, one of his superpowers is communication.
Yes.
That is huge. And hearing that and hearing, sort of where that came from in that conversation, just about communication, for me, it was like, oh, well, that's one of Joey Fatone's superpowers. And so it's actually something for us all to really learn from. Like, I really, really think communication is so important. And like, I want that superpower.
Well, and I'll add to that, because with that communication is also, a friend who will always tell you the truth or tell you things that you don't necessarily want to hear, but you need to hear. And I love his story, how he was the one that was initiating the trip with his friends, and they couldn't make it happen. And finally, he's just like, hey, I'm holding us accountable. We're going to take this trip.
Yeah.
You two figure out a date and let me know.
Yes.
We're going to do it. And he had to be like a little forceful, but that's important because otherwise, the plans might not have made it out of the chat. And he seems like the epitome of the person that's going to be like, see that chat? Taking the plans out of it.
Yes.
Make it happen.
Yep.
And that is his superpower. And this was just incredible.
Yeah. It was so awesome.
So happy we had this chance to chat with him. Thank you all for joining us for another episode. Michael, this was so fun.
So fun. So fun.
All right. Well, once again, I'm Ashley Eckstein.
And I'm Michael James Scott. And remember, be a hype friend.
The hype starts with you.